Hey, my name is LaKiesha, and I am a day trader, former engineering manager, and Yale MBA. And today I want to share with you my most profitable trade where I made 40% on my money. And I want to share this with you just in case you want some more examples of what winning trades look like. And this trade specifically is an options trade, and I want to show you exactly what I did. And as always, go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe to the channel because it helps other people find this content, and it really supports the channel in order for me to continue to make content like this. So go ahead and like it. So let me go over to my computer. Hey, so here's the breakdown of my trade today that made me a little over 40%. So let me go ahead and adjust this size, make it a little bit smaller, make it a little bit bigger. All right, anyway, I'll put myself right there. So anyway, so the trade today was these two. It was these two contracts. So I really like trading options. I do trade individual shares on occasion, but mostly these days I've been trading options. And I bought two options contracts for Boeing that expired at the end of this week. And these were puts. So basically how I even determined this, I went over to TradingView. This is something that I use in order to map out all of my trades. And if you are not using TradingView, you can go ahead and look in the description box below, so that way you can get a free month of the pro version. I have the highest tier plan just because it allows me to do seconds, and this really helps me better enter and exit trades. So anyway, so I basically came up with a put if the price broke below this 1 hour area. So yesterday there was some really good price action on Boeing. You can see it's got these really strong green candles up, and then I saw that it was coming down, and then when this failed to go higher than these candles right here, I thought, well, okay, well maybe this will break down, so let me wait. So what I did is I set up a notification or a alert right below this kind of support line, because I saw that these two candles were seeing support here, and this candle, this was a resistance. I didn't extend the line just because I didn't really feel the need to. So anyway, I put a reminder, or I put an alert right underneath these lows right here. So you can see here and here, there are some lows. I put an alert there, and then that was a signal for me in order to put in a put option for Boeing specifically. And if it broke out, I set another alert for BA breakout. So that way I get an alert on my computer, I get an alert in my email and my phone, just all kinds of ways I get notified that this is a trade that I possibly need to take. So when this alert hit, then I immediately jumped over and I put in a contract, two contracts. So as you can see from my numbers over here, let's go over. So these were 210 strike prices, and let me just highlight this for you just so that way you could go ahead and see it. So yep, so these are 210 strike prices right here. And if we scroll, if we scroll over, let me get rid of this, done. Scroll over, then you can see that I paid $11.55 for each contract. And then I got all these different calculations and stuff. You don't have to worry about that. I had targets. I didn't quite meet the targets, but got close. And for these two in particular, you can see that my actual P&L was 40% on this one and only 34% or 35% on this one. So just so that way you can see it really quick, I'm talking about this one right here and this one right here. So you can see that I made $403 on the first one, and then $463 on the second one. And basically what this sums up to is a little over, it's $866 or $67 roughly. So anyway, so like I said, 40% was the highest that I got on the contract. I held this one a little bit longer because I thought that the price was going to go up. It looked like it was going to go up, but it didn't. But anyway, let me go back to the explanation. So basically, once I saw that this price at $197.90 was below this red candle right here, so I was looking at this candle right here. And you see how it has this really long wick right here. So I was thinking, okay, well, if the price goes below that wick, then that's a signal for me to get in, especially since this candle right here was going lower than that wick. So I was like, okay, definitely got to jump in. So I jumped into the market at that point. I set my price targets. You can see that I'm using, in TradingView, they have these price targets that you can set. If you just go over here, I'm doing a short position, click that right at my entry point, and I always like to target a 2-to-1 ratio or a 3-to-1 ratio. If it's more than that, then that's all gravy. But I don't try to get greedy with these because the market can do anything at any time, and I just didn't want to risk it. So this was about a 3.5, 3.47 risk to reward ratio. Can't talk today. So anyway, and I set my stop loss. You can see it's 0.75%. Now, I don't trust these numbers 100%. In TradingView, I only trust really what I have in my spreadsheet. So I wanted to make my stop loss somewhere up here because I didn't want it to go up too much. And just so that way you get a sense of how I'm mapping these things out, I am using the 1 hour time frame in TradingView. So anyway, so going back here, set this up for a really nice 3-to-1. And I said, okay, well, if the price gets down to 192.77, you could see this over here, 192.77. If it gets to that point, then I'm going to hop out of the market because that would be a really good day for me. I've made my money, and when I make my money, I like to get out of the market because typically if I stay in the market much longer than whatever goal I've set for the day, then typically I lose a lot more money. So that is just my experience. Your experience may be different. And just know that none of this is, of course, none of this is financial advice. It's just me sharing my experience with this particular trade. So anyway, so on the 1 hour chart, I saw that over I think it was about 3.5 hours, the price was constantly going down. And there were a couple of upticks if you look on smaller time frames. So let me hit that. So I was also looking at it on the 5-minute chart. Let's see, and this looks kind of weird. But anyway, the 5-minute chart, I mean, it was telling me that the price was going down, down, down. And then it kind of found support at this level right here. So it was finding support right there. So I was thinking, okay, this could possibly go down more or it can jump up. And then when I saw that the price was going up, I was setting alerts like crazy just so that way I didn't lose any of the money that I had already made. So price just kept jumping all around, and then it went back down. So that was looking even better for me. And then if we scroll on over, we can see that the price kind of hung out in this area right here. It wasn't really doing a whole lot. It did jump up a little bit. And during this entire time, I was setting different alerts on here. I can't remember the exact spot. I want to say it was possibly here. If the price got up to this level, which was about 195 or something like that, that was a signal for me to just go ahead and take my profits. But as you can see, I didn't take all of my profits all at once. I took some of my profits at this point right here. That made me $463. And then like I said, I kept the other contract because I only had 2 contracts. I kept the other contract in because it looked like it was going to move more in my favor. Unfortunately, it didn't. So I wanted to cut it off at this amount because I didn't want to give back all of the profits that I made. So basically, just to summarize this, in making this particular move, I went to the daily chart. So this looks kind of crazy, but I went to the daily chart and just kind of saw what was happening. I saw this really long bar. What was this on the 24th, and then a smaller bar. It looked like it was constantly going up, and I knew eventually it was going to fall, mainly because of this bar right here. This bar was the highest bar, and I really like to look at recent price action just to kind of see what's going on. So let me make this a little shorter. And pretty much this stock, another clue for me was the fact that this stock had been trading in a range. So let me make this even smaller. So I have these weekly resistances mapped out, resistance and support. And I noticed that it was getting to the point where there were lower highs. So pretty much what I'm talking about is for this particular day, it tapped out right here, then it went down, and then it came up a little bit, and it only got high to this high right there. And I was like, okay, well, it'll probably be a lower high at some point. So just looking at the daily chart, I noticed that this was the high. And if we look at the chart and see what date this is, we can see that this is February 28th, which was just one day ago. And I thought it could possibly go higher, it could possibly go lower, which is why I set that alert for the possible breakout. You can see my alert says BA breakout, and if it moved above that line, then I was going to do a long call, basically hoping that the price continued up. But since it didn't, it actually broke down, it triggered my alert down here, and that's when I knew to go short or put in a put option on this particular stock. And basically I just, like I said, I set my targets. I have a 4.7 to 1 ratio. I like to do at least a 2 to 1 ratio, so that way I can get a nice little profit. And in this case, I wasn't trying to be greedy. I was just wanting to get what the market had for me and get out. And as you can see, it's a good thing that I did get out of the market because it tapped out today right there, and then it went back up. So once I saw that the market was going up, then I decided to pull my money out completely by selling that last contract, this last contract right here, and taking this 35% profit increase instead of letting it sit and hoping that the price would go back up, only losing more and more money. So one of the rules that I implemented for myself here recently is basically when I'm up, I like to take profits at 5% increments. So for instance, and I should have did this today, I don't always do it, but this was up 40% at some point. It was the same prices as this one right here. It was up 40%. So when I saw that this was heading downwards and going below 5% from that previous level to 35% and even lower, I thought, okay, let me not tempt fate and let me just go ahead and take my profit here. So when you're looking at these things and if you are up in a position and you see that the price is constantly going down, or at least your return on your money, your P&L is going down by, say it's at 40%, then it goes to 35% and then 30%, that should be a signal for you to take profits as soon as possible and possibly exit in that position. And that was exactly what was in my mind at this point today. Now, as you can see, I was in another position square where I lost 10%, and that was mostly because I was focused on this. I was like, okay, at this point, this is my highest return on investment, so I need to focus on that, close that out, and then move to square, and that's exactly what I did. So anyway, hopefully this was helpful for you in your journey in trading, and if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, and then also like this video so that way other people can see this content, and so that way I can continue to make content like this, these breakdowns, because I know it really helps people just to see the entire process. And happy trading.